Hey there, Discover Family Church. Pastor Johnny here. I hope you guys are having just a great day this Saturday morning. I know that I'm going to be going and having a crawfish boil today, so you can be jealous because I'm going to eat some, as Linus calls them, little lobsters. He keeps telling us how he's not going to eat any. That's fine, Daddy. We'll eat all of the rest. I'm excited, and today I want to continue on. We started talking about Jeremiah yesterday, and I'm going to continue on. And this story I'm going to tell may take a couple of days. I don't know. We'll see if we get through it today. But this is one of the most important books in the Bible to me, and especially this first chapter of Jeremiah. And we talked about yesterday, Jeremiah became prophet in the middle of the demise of Israel. I mean, they were going downhill, and that's when he becomes the prophet. And so, and this is the story, 1 Jeremiah, verse 4, and a few down, is the story of when he became the prophet. And so I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll just talk a little bit about it. Actually, you know what? Instead, I'll just tell you the story, or start with it. Most of you guys know I ran a ministry for a few years called Bike for the Light. And Bike for the Light, I rode my bicycle across the country and preached about making a difference in the world. And I know it sounds weird, but it worked. And so I did this for the better part of 3 years or so. And during this time, the very first time I did it, I had left my church. I was youth pastoring it in Miami and decided to start this ministry called Bike for the Light. And I hit the road. I sold everything I owned, and I bought the cheapest, junkiest RV I could ever buy. And I hit the road, and I was picking up my driver. I was going to have a driver that drove the RV that I would live in between stops. So he would drive the RV to the next church, and I would ride my bicycle there. And I would preach, and then I would sleep in the RV. Does it make sense? And he would drive to the next church, that kind of thing. And my driver was a kid that had been in my youth group in New Mexico whenever I youth pastored out there. And so I was driving out to Carlsbad, New Mexico to pick him up. Shout out to Blaze if he's watching this. I love you. Picked him up, and we hit the road. We were excited. We were pumped. We were starting this new adventure. And about an hour outside of Carlsbad, we hear this loud bang, and we just see sparks flying out from behind the RV. And we get out, and the bumper for the RV, which was a 1984, I think, Toyota Dolphin. You know, it has a little Toyota front ends, but then a big giant fiberglass cap on the back. That's what we were in, a 4-cylinder, like 70 horsepower RV. And so the bumper had fallen off, which sounds funny, except I had a hitch that was welded to that bumper that had a rack on it that was holding all my bicycles. And so all of a sudden, all my bicycles, they got drugged down the highway for a few hundred yards. Destroyed all of my wheels, which on racing bikes, road bikes like that, the wheels are very expensive, and so destroyed them all. And we had about enough money to get to California where the tour was starting. And that was it. We didn't have any extra money, anything like that. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. And I stood there on the side of the highway going, okay, God, is this it? Is this all you called me to do? Is this all you asked of me? Were you asking me to quit my job, to leave my home and all my stuff, to sell everything I owned and buy a piece of garbage RV so that I could stand on the side of the highway before I even started and watch my dreams get destroyed? And I really questioned God there for a minute, and I called, or my mom called me, and she read me these verses from Jeremiah that I'm going to read to you. And these are the verses. This is the moment that Jeremiah was called from being just a person to being a prophet, to being the voice of God to his people. That's in verse 4. It says, "The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Ah, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I'm only a child. But the Lord said to me, Do not say I am only a child. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. This moment when this guy is in the middle of a country that is dying, and God says, you're the one that's going to go tell them about me. Kind of we can tie that to a lot of things going on right now. But as I stood on the side of this highway, and I'll finish the story next time maybe. But as I stood on the side of the highway, I remember going, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he said, before I formed you in the womb, I had a plan for you. I call you to be a voice to the nations, to tell people about me. Do not be afraid. I go before you and I will rescue you. That's the beginning to the story. I'll tell more later. Uh-oh. Cliffhanger. I love you guys. I will see you at church tomorrow morning. Invite all your friends to join us. We love you. Have a great day.